need to get upgraded to the real version again.
Gotcha.
All right, so let's do it. So I'm facing the camera and let me pull up the questions. Hi, Lisa.
Hey, Sherry, how are you?
Awesome. It's so good to see you. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to come
Yeah,
visit me.
of course.
I love you guys when you do that. I need
It's,
content.
yeah. Well, and it's summer, so I'm happy. The blue sky, sunshine, need some vitamin
Yes.
D. It's all
Yes.
working.
And I get to talk with you, and I don't always
Yeah.
get to do that. So it's good. Um, so I want to let our audience know here at Spotlight Around Town that it's been a little while since Lisa and I had an opportunity to talk. She has in the past shared the story of how my financial girlfriend came about, and I have watched her grow. I have watched this business grow and expand and just become, you are on the way to being an icon. I so appreciate all you do and all the people that you help. It's
Oh,
incredible.
thank you.
I want to totally thank you for being here.
Thank
So
you for
with
allowing me to.
questions.
Yeah.
So the first one is you recently launched, and I'm so excited to get into this. I missed it today, and I do apologize. Brenda is fabulous. I do love her as a speaker and a person. So I do apologize for having to miss that. I will catch your next GF Talks. It's
Yes.
a GF Talks Learning Lab, an accessible weekly workshop series. What inspired you to pivot toward community based learning, and how are you designing it to uniquely support women and the BIPOC participants?
Absolutely. I will say that COVID was definitely, and the pandemic shutdown was really kind of a mixed blessing in my life. I talk about a lot of I think we all do is like that was a moment, and we're like pre-COVID, I did this, and post-COVID, I'm doing this, and just having first of all the time and being able to work from home was that blessing in disguise because I was really on a treadmill. I was on the little hamster just running, 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 trying to do all things for all people. And what COVID allowed me to do is, we still had a team put in place up until the end of 2020 because you listen to the news and every 2 weeks they'd say, oh, we're going to be closed down for another 2 weeks and then another 2 weeks. And then it started talking about, every like 4th of July. And then after, they kept just, bridging it out and out and out. And so as we approached the fourth quarter into the fall season and the holidays, we were all getting pretty wary. There was 5 of us, and we were all getting pretty weary. And what's this going to look like for the new year? And so we all kind of decided in a very mutual and kind, authentic way that I think we all want to kind of disperse and let Lisa do financial girlfriend, and they found other avenues to pursue their goals. And it was all it was all big warm hug, virtual hug at the end of December of 2020. And so coming into 21, I just had some, I wanted to still reach people. If when I had an office in the Pearl District of Portland, Oregon, I was doing monthly events anyway. I was holding monthly community. We do movie nights or we had cooking classes, and to me it's always been about community and bringing particularly women together and people of color and the LGBTQ community. Anybody and all people were welcome. Men were even welcomed. I mean, it wasn't inclusive by any means. It was just anybody who needed a sense of community, who needed a sense of, I always talk about approachable, accessible, and affordable financial education. Literacy was huge. It's always been a huge part of my mission statement because we are poorly educated as Americans when it comes to money.
Yes.
There is a good old boys club in the industry. There's only 24% even to date of women advisors in the financial advising world of in the United States particularly. And it really doesn't change when you look at Canada. It's still, and it's under 25% are women advisors. And so I always knew I was this little black sheep kind of ranting and raving about how women are discouraged to talk to a financial advisor, or when they do, they feel more confused walking to their car after a 60-minute meeting than they did before they got there. So there's just a lot of, I call it dysfunction in this industry because we are really, women particularly, and people in marginalized communities are very much, we get the short end of the money stick. And I talk about this a great deal, as you know, but if you make less money than the same position in the same company across the hallway, like in that same company, you particularly make less money. It's a ripple effect of negative outcome because what happens is your benefits, like 401k dollars, you put in 3% of your money, they put in 3% of theirs, they get more money in their
Yeah.
401k automatically, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the matching from the employer, great, you're matching my percentage to percentage, but I'm still making and gaining less growth on my 401k in the same position. That's number one. Number two is your Social Security benefits, knock on wood that those are still around. But that's also a percentage of how much money you make goes into your Social Security fund. So again, we're short end, short end, short end. It does not stop. And so, and then on consumers, women's products against the men's products. I always use deodorant. There's a beautiful purple or lavender or
The pink
pink
text.
packaging for our
Yeah.
under deodorant. And in the
Yeah.
men's, it's all browns and dark blues and teal colors and bold, And the men's products are usually $1 to $2 less than the women's products. So even
Yep.
as consumers, we tend to get overcharged and we're making less money. So it's just this vicious circle that I've always ranted about. And I really feel that women who feel like they can come to somebody like me or other women that I'm I'm mentoring other women advisors to be more feminine, to be more financial girlfriend spirit of all come in, no shame zone, ask all your money questions and you will get a straightforward answer, no BS. So really the part of me having girlfriend talks and the learning lab was serving two purposes immediately. One is to continue Zooming and doing 90-minute, and those are actually monthly. I did a special bonus one this week for Brenda because she is so fabulous. And then I do the learning lab is really, they started out as weekly money 60-minute courses, workshops that you could have. I was doing all of them. I was teaching people how to budget in a very effortless way, not like pull your teeth out and then you have to scream about it later. It was like, how do we do our money in a way that feels fun and you have curiosity and you lean in and you want to know more because it's more relative to your actual particular circumstances, right? Talk about how to pay off debt faster than the credit card companies want you to know. Pay your utility bills on what they call equal pay. There's all these money hacks that I've been teaching for years and years and years. So I culminated those into those 60-minute money topic workshops. And that's it's a club membership club. It's $11 a month.
Yep.
Again, I wanted to make it accessible. It's like Netflix for your money. You get both education and a little entertainment along the way. Because if you can't laugh about your own money and your own mistakes, then we're too serious. We got to be a little more lighthearted with ourselves and give ourselves grace. Because if somebody asked me to make a Thanksgiving dinner, I wouldn't know the first clue. I would guess at everything. I would have to be using some kind of recipe. I would nothing would hit the table that's supposed to be hot at the same time. I'm just not a cook. I just never learned that growing up. I was more of crafty and sewing. And in high school, when I went to high school, they taught home ec. And you could kind of choose. You either go into the cooking side of the class or you go into the crafting side of the class with sewing machines. I went towards sewing machines because that's what my mom did. She taught us to sew from the time we were little because one, we couldn't afford designer jeans and, fancy things. We had to kind of make our own. So again, I draw on my own personal experience from how I learned about money or cooking. And I think, well, if I feel like I'm okay with money, I'm good with money, that I can teach that to others so they feel less shameful and embarrassed and like, it's no wonder we're behind is because of all the other things they said about us not making enough money. So I really encourage, I'm kind of your inner cheerleader when it comes to talking about money in an open format that's very shame-free.
And exactly, and you are. And I've been to a couple of your classes, and they are beneficial, they are educational, and most of all, they're fun.
Yeah,
And you get
I
to
want
meet
to
a lot
keep,
of cool
I want
people.
to put fun into financial, so we'll make it
Yeah,
financial. How's that?
financial, I love it. So on social media, you often talk about disrupting the male-dominated financial world and creating a safe, judgment-free money conversation, as you were just speaking of. How have participants responded to this approach, and what surprising transformative stories can you share from the sessions or your workshops?
I get the goosebumps when I think about the success stories because one other thing I added included into my COVID program of marketing and how to present Financial Girlfriend in a more forward way was the fact that I do one-on-one consulting. So people can start with the Learning Lab at $11. They can watch some of the replays, understand maybe there's about 25 different topics that they can choose from in a library. And they go, wait a minute, she just told me something that I'm not quite understanding. So they each get 30 minutes of my time or another financial girlfriend who's graduated through my academy. So they get to talk with a financial professional on the topics that are of most interest in their highest priorities. So the idea that the transformation of working with, I can only speak for myself, but hundreds, 300 women over the last 2 years that I have done financial planning with and help them set up their systems and understand their money in a much more comprehensive way. I have hundreds of stories, but one that particularly stands out is we're both crying at the end. It was like the 12th session. We're both in tears because I'm just so ecstatically happy for them. But their goal was to pay off all their debt. And at that point, they had and they're young, they're in their early 30s, and they had $45,000 across like 4 credit cards. And we rearranged and gave them we developed together collaboratively a debt plan and to how to pay their debt down strategically with whatever resources they already had. It wasn't like go make more money and then talk to me. It was like
Right.
let's see what you got and how it can work. So really part of it is just I talk about a Rubik's cube, and it's like sometimes it's just one tweak to the right and one twist to the left, and you automatically have more funds than you even thought you had. And you're not changing or canceling anything. You're just paying it in a different manner. And credit cards is one of the better ways. I always have a good example of that. But what she was able to do in 9 months, the way the last 3 sessions that we sat down was just like firming up everything and giving her some new targeted goals to work towards. But we ended up finding her close to $400 a month in extra cash flow without her canceling her lifestyle and canceling any of her programs or things that she was already doing. We paid her debt down. She was on a debt plan that it would take her originally 23 years to pay off, that we ended up getting her in a debt payment plan of only 6.5 years.
Wow.
And she is putting extra to it, but it was part of the extra 400. So when I asked her, you have $400 extra a month, what's your goal? Pay down debt. So we put 300 towards debt plan, and then she did $100 towards a savings plan because she really had no virtual savings at all, and
Right.
she was making good money. So that was part of the issue. She's like, I make good money. How come I can't get ahead? How come I can't feel on
Right.
top of my money? So we ended up getting her on a debt plan for a shorter period of time for all of that $45,000 in debt. She had in that same time frame, she'd have 1,200 plus times 6. I have to do real math, like 7,200 in savings if all
Wow.
went the same. So not only is she paying $45,000 in debt down, but she was building a cash pool of money with money that we found that she didn't even have to, like I said, scrape and scrap out of it. She could actually use her budget to her most effective benefit. And
Right.
so like I said, we were crying at the end because she was so happy, and she sent me referrals. She sent me, I mean, once she realized that it was really taking hold and really actually working, she was like ecstatic that, somebody actually took the time and step by step, we went through every aspect of how to make her money work for her
That's
and
so
accomplish
awesome.
the goals that she wanted. So I laugh because to me it's simple, but I realize to others that it's like this is taking very complicated things and breaking it down so it's bite size and it's a working plan. It doesn't happen overnight by any means, but once you start adhering to the plan, you realize that, oh, wait a minute, I see those numbers shifting and
Yeah.
and the benefit is there. So
That's a fabulous story. See, it can happen. It can happen.
it
Although
happens.
having income is a positive thing too.
True. That is true. Yes.
You need income.
Yes.
So it's been a few years since our last deep dive interview. Today, I want new initiatives or goals. I'm going to edit this out. So
Okay.
it's been a few years since our last deep dive interview. Today, what new initiatives or goals excite you most about My Financial Girlfriend? Any upcoming events, new content, formats, partnerships, tools? What do you have going?
Yes, yes, and yes. So, I the first one is that we do with the membership. It is the like I said, the $11 a month club. I'm adding new topics. I'm expanding and bringing in some attorneys and some CPA tax
Yay!
professionals. So it's going to be interview style, but we're going to be talking about wills and how to make sure your beneficiaries are listed in a way that you want them to receive the funds and it still works for you while you're still alive, which is the most helpful thing. So what laws and a lot of it, each attorney is there are going to be different topics from different attorneys because not every state has the same laws around wills and trusts. So I'll have an Oregon one. I'll have probably all West Coast. We'll have a Washington and California. So that will be fun. We'll have different topics on those and just legacy, how to create generational legacy with what you currently have and who you want those funds to go to. Um,
Uh-huh.
the other area that we're going to be focusing on is in tax preparing is again, tax code changes. Congress makes a choice one way or another. We're still living under certain tax codes that happened in 2017, and they're going to fall off this year if things don't continue or get stopped. So tax code is really important because even though you don't probably, even if you don't want to do your own taxes, there is people out there that will help you, but asking the right questions or knowing what your goals are, your strategies, and having them help explain it to you so it makes sense. Because again, I look at tax code and a lot of times the clients are sending me, they have their tax person do them. I go before they send them out as finalized, send me a copy of the draft, and there's boxes that are usually blank, especially if they're self-employed or have some self-employment in their household. There's boxes that get overlooked by the CPAs because they're trying to do more tax returns year over year. So they're just getting it accurate for what you give them. So there's not a lot of projection or trying to help you find less ways to pay taxes necessarily. Now I'm trying not to be too general, but generally speaking, when you do your taxes and if you're not getting a refund or if you're getting a refund, we look at ways that you might even get more in refund or generally have to pay less in tax liability. So those classes are going to be coming out here in this quarter and then into third quarter of this year, 25. And then I have one of my most exciting things that I'm working on right now. I think I told you earlier a couple of weeks ago, but I'm having a My Financial Girlfriend adult coloring book that will be coming out, and it's hopefully is fun and creative, and you can teach it to but it's money hacks, money manners of ways that we look at our money that you might not have ever looked at it before in a creative way. And I find that a lot of mothers and fathers want to teach their kids about money, but it's kind of dry and boring and it doesn't
Right.
ignite the kids' curiosity. So I think with the coloring book, it'll be kind of a family activity that they
Yep.
could learn
Awesome.
about investing. They can learn about taxes. They can learn about getting your first job and what to do when you have a paycheck and just all kinds of just really fun basic money concepts that I hope that the adults will enjoy, but also they can teach it to their youngsters. So that to me is one of my,
Fabulous.
and that's going to come up, and I think we're going to have it ready to produce in a couple of months. Um, but I'm very excited about that because, like I said, I remember that conversation about me not going to the cooking side of things
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
crafting. And like coloring and crafting is like my favorite pastime when I'm not thinking about money. It just allows my brain to relax and I kind of go into Zen mode about just being more calm and present about when I get to craft. So yeah. So those
Oh,
are kind of the big
definitely.
things coming up right now.
I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited to hear more. We'll have to do this again for
Okay.
sure.
Yeah.
So, this is Lisa Brumm of My Financial Girlfriend, founder. Is it a corporation?
We are an LLC. Yes, we are a corp
So, you're the CEO and the president and everything.
president and it's owner operated also.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lisa. I'm going to stop the recording now. And I appreciate you being here.
Yes.